shloka 9 to 9. Yeah. So the topic here we are going to insist is Krishna's work. Yeah. Krishna's work does not affect him. That is the main topic which we are going to focus on. So let's go with the shloka here 9.29. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyostiti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyosti stina प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. Mataji, any one of you want to read the shloka once?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I read it?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Text 29. Sammoham sarvabhuteshu namideshoti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktaya mayi te teshu chapyaham. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So, Krishna is a creator and everything finally goes in him, right? So, he is not affected. He's a creator, but he's not affected with any of the things whatever is happening. So, that is the position of Krishna. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. So, the one who is getting affected is only us. So, Krishna being partial or not partial, it doesn't affect him. If he is partial, also, it doesn't affect him. He is not partial, also, it doesn't affect him. But here, Krishna is saying in this sloka, he's just explaining us in this sloka. We are asking him something like, Krishna, are you partial? He's just answering in this sloka. What is he saying here? Name dveshyo. He is neither. He doesn't have any he's not any envy of anyone. Name dvesho sti na priyaha. He is not partial to anyone. Neither he is envy of anyone, nor he is partial to anyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. He is equal to all, but he's just adding this. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Anyone who does devotional service unto me, mayi te teshu chapyaham. Such a person is a friend to me, and he is in me, and I am also his friend. So, this is what it is. Krishna is clearly saying, like, I'm not partial. I'm not partial to anyone. I'm equal to everyone, but again, I am partial to my devotees. That's what he's saying. So we have to understand in the shloka very clearly, so that we don't have any doubts about Krishna's behavior to us, right? Like, oh, he's partial to them, and he does everything for them, not to me. Not we should not have any such doubts. So let us dive deep into the meaning of this sloka. Here, Prabhupada gives us very nice explanation. Let us start this. The Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son, and so he provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. So, he already told in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, right? Like, what did he say? Mamai vamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. So everyone is part and partial of me. He's saying that, right? And also he said, like, aham bija pradapitaha. He said, I am the seed giving father for everyone, for everything, all, for all. So he said that also. So Krishna here, he is the reason for everything, and he's equal to all. He is the seed giving father. He is the, what do you call, like, we are part and parcel of Krishna. And then why is there partiality when he is everything? We are all from him. Then where is the partiality coming? Here we should understand he wants all of us, right? When we own something, we never show partiality. Okay, this is good, this is what I need, and this is what I don't need. It's not like that, right? Here in the purport, a very nice example is given. The clouds pour the rains equally everywhere. They are not partial, saying that, okay, this is a very beautiful place, let me pour more rain, and this is something where not good, let me not give. No, the clouds give rain equally, pouring everywhere, even a bare land. It has a equal rain, and even, what do you call, like, even if on the sea, it the cloud never differentiates, saying like, oh, the ocean has a lot of water, why should I pour rain? No, it's not like that, right? The rain falls equally there also, and also in the barren land or mountains, whatever you name. So that is how the mercy of Krishna is. It is equal everywhere. And we are something like, okay, Krishna is partial to them, part. It is something like saying, now the rain is like pouring equally without any discrimination. And there are trees which are so sweet, and there are trees which are having fruits which are bitter or sour or whatever it is. And then we cannot say like, oh, there is a partiality of the rain. It did not give enough, what do you call, enough nutrients or whatever to this tree, and this tree is as a bad fruit, and this tree has a good fruit. We cannot just give the blame to the rain, right? It is everyone's, like, how much they absorb. So it is something like that. Krishna is not partial. He is equal to everyone. That's what in the shloka he says, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. That is a but. Na me dveshyo sti na priyaha. He is neither favorable nor envious to anyone. He is equal to everyone. So this is the understanding. But devotees are very intelligent here. They wait with the vessel for catching the mercy of Krishna. It is the rain pouring, the clouds pouring the rain everywhere. So Krishna is pouring the mercy, but it depends on each and every living entity how much they catch, right? But the devotees here, they are said that they are waiting with the vessel, waiting with the open heart, and with a complete dedication, devotional service, everything. They are waiting like that in front of Krishna, so that they catch the mercy of Krishna, and then they depend on him, they show the love towards him, and they catch his heart. That's how they are in Krishna's heart. But whereas the atheist or the other people who are not Krishna conscious, who are not devotees, they don't wait like that. They don't wait for the mercy of Krishna. They don't absorb the mercy like that, right? So that's how the difference, like here, what we have discussed just a few seconds before, the tree which bears a very sweet fruit, and the tree which bears a sour or a bitter fruit. So it is the absorption of the nutrients, but the nutrients are given equally. So the atheist, they are also sustaining, right? The people like Mayavadis and atheists, they are also sustaining. How are they sustaining? Because Krishna's mercy is equal. But what happens is, for devotees, it is extra, because devotees are always waiting for Krishna's mercy. Like, it is something like a fertile land. When the rain falls, when Krishna's mercy falls on the devotees, they have the bhakti seed which is sowed in their heart very nicely, and the heart is so fertile. And when this mercy, when the mercy falls, and when the absorption is happening, and then Bhakti Lata is just like sprouting very nicely, and it grows very nicely, and that person marches towards the goal of life very nicely, and he progresses in his spiritual path very fast. So that is the difference. So here Krishna is not partial, but he is partial to his devotees. That is the understanding Prabhupada is explaining in this. And he also says, for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna conscious, and therefore they are always transcendently situated in Krishna. These devotees always are in one point focus, always, like whatever it is the center is Krishna. They dovetail everything, whatever materially they do, whatever job they are in, whatever it is, they dovetail everything towards Krishna. So Krishna also reciprocates in a similar way, right? Like it is natural, it is not partial here. When somebody is like chanting with a full focus, pinpointed focus, calling Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, what happens? Krishna definitely, it is like naturally he responds to them, right? So that is what it is. When we are approaching Krishna 10%, and it is 10 times, 10 folds of it, Krishna reciprocates to that. Krishna nourishes everyone, he is equal to everyone. The way the Mayavadis or the atheistic or sustaining is also because of them. Krishna takes care of them, but he is partial only to his devotees. That is the thing. So the analogy here Prabhupada gives is, gold is naturally, like, it is so nice, right? When it is polished or whatever it is, then 18 karat or 22 karat, it is very nice to see. But when a diamond is bedecked, it is put in a gold ring or whatever it is, totally, when it looks so pretty, very beautiful. That is how, when devotees are with Krishna, then they look like this, the gold with the diamond. That's what the analogy is given. Both are both where devotees, in the sense like they are within Krishna consciousness, then they are not even devotees. If they don't have Krishna conscious, they are not even devotees, right? So when they are with Krishna, the devotees look much more, yeah, much more beautiful, as a gold when being kept with the diamond. When the diamond is stuck with the gold, then it looks much more prettier and beautiful. That's how a devotee is with the Krishna consciousness. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of Supreme Lord, he looks like a gold. The Lord is a diamond. And so this combination is very nice. Prabhupada says, like, this is the best combination. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotee. So this is a very, very a nice analogy here. Krishna never keeps any debt. Like whatever his devotee is giving to him, he just gives back it in n number of folds back to him. That's what they say, right? Like I have heard in lot of Maharaj talks, and yeah, in different pravarchans in our temples, even if you just like tighten a screw for in the temple, Krishna will remember that. He will just reciprocate that, but he will never have keep the debt of it. He will just give it back to that person in n number of folds. That is how. What do we need for this type of situation? The love and devotion. These are the two things which we have to focus. The more love, the more devotion towards Krishna, one pointed focus towards Krishna, not to any Devi Devatas, like Devi Devatas provide us whatever we need, but Krishna, he knows what to provide, he knows what not to provide for his devotees. He works accordingly so that his devotee comes back to him. So that is the difference. So definitely, when a devotee, by his words, by his devotional service, by or fasting for Krishna, or celebrating any festivals of Krishna, always dovetailing whatever the person does towards Krishna consciousness, then definitely, why not, right? When we are doing everything, every day, every minute, everything, we are thinking about Krishna, what will Krishna do? Krishna never keeps any debt. He is just returning everything in n number of folds. Just expecting Krishna will give us an n number of folds, we should not do it. We should just like do it deep from our heart. When this is happening, like, Krishna naturally he takes care of us. So that is the devotee's surrender, and that is the a devotee's love and affection towards Krishna. Krishna has no other option in this state, right, other than taking care of his devotee. So here the example is often given that the Lord is like a desire tree. Yes, the Lord is like a desire tree. He just gives whatever a person needs. But for devotee especially, it's not like that. Whatever you ask, Krishna will see whether this I can give it for my devotee so that he can come back to me. So he will just do those things, and then if it is really good, he will give it to us. If it is not, he will not give it. He will just direct us in a different way. So that is what Krishna is like a desire tree. The Lord supplies, but here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to the devotees. Here is the partiality where he shows to the devotees, giving the devotees what he thinks it's the best for him to come back to him, right? This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercy to the devotees. That is, that Prabhupada says that it is special mercy of Krishna towards the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotee functions. Yeah, here Prabhupada also gives a very important point. All these things, whatever happening for the devotees, it cannot be considered that it is happening under the law of karma, especially for devotees. That is not the case. This nakshatra, graha effects, and all those things never work for devotees, like, because the devotees are under Krishna graha grahit atma. That's what they say. Devotees are under Krishna graha. When Krishna graha is acting on them, then no other grahas are effective on the devotees. So always the devotees are under Krishna's mercy. They are waiting for his mercy, and they absorb it to the fullest. So that's why Krishna has said that he is not partial to anyone. He is equal to anyone, like the analogy what we talked about the rain. He is equal to everyone, but he is not partial, but partial only to his devotees. So in this way, Krishna says, like, whatever he does, he doesn't get affected. It is only us who are getting affected, right? If we are devoted, if we have that one point focus, love and affection towards Krishna, then we are affected, and then we are affected, we go back home. That is the goal of life. If we are not focused, if we are not focused in Krishna consciousness, that's what, if we are not observing the mercy what Krishna force Krishna, like, pours equally towards everyone, if we are not observing, then we are in the list of every other human, not in the devotee list. So we should just think where we are, and if we are on the right path, yes, well and good, let us just progress. And if we think what we are doing is not correct, let us just stop, look back, and then try to follow Prabhupada's rules and regulation, is teachings, and then yes, go ahead with that teachings, and then let us just progress in spiritual journey. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhu. Any doubts and comments, welcome. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhobhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you for attending today's class. Yeah. Any doubts, Matajis? Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम, दंडवत प्रणाम।